The theme of this Congress is Noni for Global Wellness. I not only welcome each and every one of you to the World Noni Congress, I also welcome your commitment to wellness through Noni. Welcome you once again to the first World Noni Congress 2010 Noni Morning. I love you.
WNRF has outsourced 22 research projects with a total funding to the tune of ₹16 billion so far, and these projects hence have been taken under the State Agricultural Universities, Research Institutes of the ICR and other reputed research organizations, both in the public and private sector. WNRF is also a partner in the network project of Noni funded by Ayush, which is the first effort of collaborative research. WNRF is committed to validate the testimonials on the beneficial effects of Noni, for which systematic and collaborative research projects are underway. Recently, 4 funded research projects were concluded, one in clinical research and the other 3 in plant protection related projects. The results from these projects are quite encouraging.
With medical bills shooting up, the common men and women have a life to bear and fear certainly the uncertainty, especially in developing countries like India. Fortunately, in the Indian system, medicine like Ayurveda, Siddha and traditional tribal medicines are getting resurrected to current use. Noni is one of the such plants with considerable value as a food supplement for providing nutrition and thereby health. I feel there is a greater scope to widen the generic use and genetic use and the genetic base through exotic and indigenous collections and developing high-yielding varieties with desirable qualities and making use of them in value addition and newer product uses. The first World Noni Conference 2010 will be debating on the role of the Noni to empower people and lead them to the wellness.
Gandhiji always used to say, nature provides for everyone's needs, but not for everyone's greed. You find everything. If you go to the coastal area, the halophytes, there are xerophytes, all kinds of plants and animals to suit different needs. But many of them lie undiscovered, and this is where we are indebted to Professor p.i.peter for bringing to light the multiple benefits that Noni confers in relation to human wellness. Because sometimes things can remain as blossoms in the dust. Human beings also, if you don't care for them. Similarly, the plants can lie. He has made it to the modern Indian ginseng, and it's a remarkable achievement within a short period of time of Professor Peter, which I greatly admire. When Professor Peter mentioned to me, I have known him for ever since I came to Chennai in 1989. He has been a remarkable person. And he told me that when he started his work in Noni, the first thing he's going to do is to start the Noni Research Foundation. In other words, there are many times we go by empirical observations, particularly this is true in some of the herbal medicine and so on. Not that age and experience are important, but empirical evidence has to be converted into scientific evidence. This is what the Noni Research Foundation is doing, to have the scientific validation of many of our observations over it. I congratulate you again, because some of our own indigenous systems of medicine, not only ours but also internationally, there is a feeling that there is need for more scientific validation of what we are saying. These are all the benefits of the crop and so on.
Noni Biotech is making a substantial contribution in the propagation of various applications of noni as a food supplement through its health enhancement properties and its complementary utility for optimal effectiveness of conventional medicines. They have launched many products using the properties of noni and have also made a concerted drive towards research in this field. Noni is also a native plant of Andaman and Nicobar, particularly the Nicobaris, for over hundreds of years. The medicinal use and knowledge of this plant has been passed on from one generation to the other by these primitive tribes, who have used almost all parts of this plant for treating different ailments. Interestingly, I must mention here that this was the only plant which could withstand the onslaught of the tsunami waves during December 2004.
Thank you, sir.
In fact, at World Noni Research Foundation, we believe only God creates wealth. No one creates wealth. No person creates wealth. Only God creates wealth. We people only distribute wealth, as per great, Adam Smith. Our philosophy of pricing noni is one of Adam Smith. We distribute wealth from people with purchasing power to people with negligible or no purchasing power. Thousands of HIV, bar-aid patients, orphans, negligible income earning priests and nuns get noni at no cost, sir.
And I would at this stage like to again compliment Dr. Peter and this whole idea of converting one biological resource into a huge potential for employment, which is what I think and I must compliment this World Noni Conference for people to come together. And I would also like to exhort them to see, aren't there many other jewels in our country, in the rest of the world, in terms of biological resources, which are not fully tapped, which can actually really deliver a very, very strong blow on poverty, which can help us to reduce poverty. And I would say that this is an initiative of Noni, of Dr. Peter, which we all need to follow and we all need to work together.
Love you, I love you.
I believe that Noni provides a tangible opportunity to bridge science and spirituality through research and application. This is a great goal, I believe, of the 21st century, to unify science and spirit, to unify the West and the East. And here in India, which I regard as the root of world civilization, such a union can and should begin to occur. However, the opportunity is beset by a number of challenges, and in today's lecture I will highlight these challenges and point to opportunities that are embedded within them as potential solutions. I'll first talk about cultivating noni. Now, this is a highly variable plant species. There are at least 30 to 40 distinct varieties in the Pacific region alone. And the botanical and medical attributes of the varieties remain largely undocumented. You see a variegated noni plant with yellow and white leaves that we find in Hawaii. And also we see a yellow-colored noni fruit that I found on one plant near the ocean in an uninhabited part of the Big Island. Another point is that noni is genetically unimproved. In other words, there's been no breeding or selection, no improvement of the plant by man. And there exist few systematic collections or evaluations of noni plant germplasm. So this is a great opportunity. We should collect noni germplasm and evaluate it for the wide variety of horticultural and medical characteristics that probably occur in the plant. Now, noni is one of several fruits that are known as superfruits. Pomegranate, blueberry, cranberry, goji. They're all commonly referred to as superfruits.
Morindus citrifolia, Indian mulberry, in Hindi, all arch. Then Marathi, some name, in Tamil, Nuna, Malayalam, Telugu, Kannada, Uriya, Urdu, Assam, Gujarat, Bengali. What does it mean? It means that this plant is existing in all these states because it has got the name in different languages. That's what is there in the next slide, that is distribution. In the forest of different states are this Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Assam, Jharkhand.
This particular plant is becoming very, very important. It has been included in the ICR system also. And we also know that the genetic improvement of any plant depends on the diversity which is available. But whatever diversity is available, in case it is not characterized properly and quantified, that will be of no use. So for the quantification of the genetic diversity, the descriptor and descriptor states, which will help actually in facilitating characterization and evaluation of the germ plug, is very, very essential.
Actually, we have surveyed most of the part of Gujarat in Dang area and Valsad, Dahod and Junagadh, where dense forests are there. And in green forest, light green and dense dark green. In dark green, there is a more variability and the diversity rich area is there.
National Research Center for Noni and as well as the Indian Cultivation Noni, they have identified 10 allied clones in our own research farm. Using the same technology, we decided that to do a comparative study using the seedlings, cuttings and as well as the tissue culture plants from the same allied clone. This is the allied clone we have selected in our own research farm in Chengalpet, and this plant is taken as a candidate material to use the seed to germinate the seedlings and take the cuttings, and as well as these actually buds were taken to produce tissue culture technology what is available to produce tissue culture plants for a comparative study in our own research center.
As well as producing the fruits around the year, and the assistant HB1 had the largest fruit, that is about 350 grams single fruit, and the assistants namely HD6A, HBA, they showed the better growth and productive traits. And the phenolic content was found to be maximum in the assistants carry 2, that was the maximum 300 milligram per 100 gram. And finally, we have observed the 7 assistants we have identified for the different purposes, for the nutritional importance, for the phenolic content, for the yield parameters, and these are being maintained in our carry germplasm. Thank you.
But fruit development is not less than 50% throughout the year. Means we can say that flowering is less. There is no flowering during the January and February, but flower development is continuous throughout the year. This is the nori perennial plant which bear flowering and fruiting throughout the year. Fluctuation in flowering and fruiting behavior due to environmental effect also occurs. This is the self-pollinated plant, but expression of heterostyle and occurrence of honeybee suggests a possibility of outcrossing.
Majority of coconut holdings being small and marginal, to increase the income from unit land, intercropping is absolutely necessary. And Noni seems to be promising intercrop and coconut garden in the years to come, as Noni is gaining importance fast. The study has to be continued to find out whether single hedge or double hedge planting of Noni in coconut garden is worth adopting. For good support for Noni cultivation, tie between the growers and companies for buyback policy with supply of good quality planting materials is very much essential.
We can develop horticulture including Noni crop. So Mizoram is also aiming at organic horticulture, and the farmers of Mizoram are mostly adapted to this practice of natural and organic farming practice. At present, we are growing medicinal plants and aromatic plants like aloe vera, stevia and patchouli. It is also understood that Noni can be suitable for Mizoram, and which will be also useful for intercropping with other crops. Noni being new for us, the farmers of Mizoram started becoming aware of this for last 1 or 2 years back. and for healthcare, and as such it is important for our horticulture department to look into this.
So especially here in this case of the noni, you use mostly the organic source so that our nutritional situations will be much better and nutraceutical will be much better. Develop a product and post-harvest technologies and plant propagation studies. But I am optimistic that with the science and technologies, that prediction will be also proven wrong. And here the horticulture will play the greater role, and a golden revolution, what we have been coining the word, golden revolution will be sustainable for the future. Innovations and productive utilization of resources need to meet the challenges, and noni the best option for the health care. That's what I said in the beginning, and now also I conclude the noni can be one of the best options for the health care of the mankind on this earth. But this will require a high concentrated, concerted efforts of we all scientists together on the research and development. And with this, let us address the concern of the healthcare, nutrition and food of the people for the wellness of the mankind.
Nutrition security and secures health care, apart from employment and income generation. This important coming up crop in horticulture community has a lot of potential.
The World Noni Research Foundation had made another milestone by starting the International Society for Noni Science, ISNS.
Welcome to the world of wellness. Welcome.
Enough to love everyone. If it is yes, love, don't misunderstand. Love is not lust, not erotic love. No, I'm not talking that. I'm talking of agape, compassion, universal love. Love everyone, love everything in this universe. The plant, the seed, the human beings, everyone. That's the kind of love I want you to have. Then, last, how do you know you are very healthy otherwise? Very simple. Samadhathu, Samagrishya, Samadosha, Malapriya, Prasanna Atma Indriyamana, Swastha. You shit well, you piss well, you work well, you eat well, you have appetite, you enthusiasm work, you enthusiasm compassion, you sleep well, and you don't hate nobody. You are very healthy, says Ayurveda.
What the Fijians say, they say that noni has a disgusting taste. And it used in herbal medicine, and it has beneficial health properties. And it has been a very export for the South Pacific region, and it has been gaining popularity as an export product after the ban placed by the Germans and a few other countries on another South Pacific plant, Java. This is another story, and I will not be wanting to go into that stage.
The use of noni in osteoporosis, I would like to share with you some interesting facts about osteoporosis. We know that bone is an integral part of the skeleton which is required for terrestrial life. Bone remodeling is a process which continuously happens in general, and it involves two stages: bone formation and bone resorption. Bone formation is mediated by special type of cells called osteoclast, whereas bone resorption is mediated by special type of cells called osteoclast.
Affected by the big giants. And the information is like that all the 20% are showing the ESI height above the 40, and RA factor is positive in 9%, and C-reactive protein is positive 18% out of 20%.
Stratum goodness people known includes so high potent cytotoxicity human liver carcinoma cells and human liver cancer cells. Cytotoxicity concentrates 50% value is 167 microgram per ml and 181.5 microgram per ml respectively. Here I conclude the goodness people technology extract showed high potent toxicity against two different human cancer cells from liver and liver respectively. Hence, this extract merits.
The benefit of noni juice is great. I'd say general physician or general practitioner, it can be used from tonsils, sinus or ear infection. When you think you want to increase the immune system,
Now widely spread in most of the small islands in the Pacific. Traditional medicine still exists and in all the countries, especially in the small islands and areas in the Western Pacific regions.
Some of the proteins involved in this aggressiveness and invasiveness, I just selected as a targets for against the Noni treatment. So one particular protein is the enzyme cyclooxygenase 2, which is involved in the apoptosis, inhibition of apoptosis, invasiveness, angiogenesis, of course inflammation, conversion of pro-carcinogens into the carcinogens.
Research being undertaken at the National Research Center for Noni under the World Noni Foundation, while the projects, funded projects which are externally sourced, were also coming in as represented by papers towards the end of the session. That is, as far as medicinal plant, it should be free from pest and diseases infestations. So, while the Noni is less susceptible to plants, but in the case of cultivated Noni plant is more susceptible to pest. The damage due to the pest is up to maximum up to 30%. In our previous surveys for the last 2 years, it shows that nearly 38 species of insect pests have been recorded during the last 2 years. So, however, the Noni farm seems to have also its community of parasites and predators. So, every ecosystem has its own control mechanisms. Likewise, the Noni farm is also having pests and parasites to control the pest populations.
Survey method, RPD and linear transcription, insect sampling was followed after polygon basic.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar. I do not know whether you could read what you have written on the slides.